Hello, I'm Airly Ringgold Johnson.
And I am Naive Johnson, and we are the co-chairs of the Legacy Day Committee. We are currently living in an unprecedented time in our country. We constantly are continuing to see the brutality being taken to our African American brothers and sisters throughout this time. Right now, we are going to share with you the National Negro Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, written by James Weldon Johnson, music by James Roseman Johnson. Let these words echo as we reflect on our current country state and the ways we have to go to ensure everyone is treated fairly, treated equally, and treated as a human being throughout this life.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising
Because, oh God, a house divided against itself cannot stand. But sure enough, if we stand together, if we walk together, if we march together, if we pray together, if we work together, if we think together, oh my God, there's no limit, there's no end to what we can do and what we can accomplish as long as we're doing it in the name of the Lord for the benefit of equality for all humankind. Now let us do it, oh God. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. And thank you, Jesus.
And we're sitting in Sumner Hall, which at one point served as a hub of political advocacy, arts and entertainment, social affairs for the African American community right here in Chestertown.
Today, Sumner Hall stands as a beacon and a testament to the African American heritage and culture to the community of Chestertown and Greater Kent County. We thank the Sumner Hall Board of Directors and the Sumner Hall staff for their oversight on Legacy Day. This work isn't fully possible without them.
I agree. Thank you so very much to the Board of Directors for Sumner Hall. Also, thanks to all of our many incredible sponsors who have graciously contributed to Legacy Day since its inception 7 years ago.
As a way to recognize our sponsors, we listed them on the Sumner Hall website, included them on banners placed outside Sumner Hall and the Historical Society of Kent County building on High Street and at the end of this video.
Thank you all so much for your generous contributions. You make Legacy Day possible.
Now, we would like to hear from William Leary, Legacy Day historian, as he gives us a snapshot on our Legacy Day beat.
Thanks, Navik. As you've heard, next year's Legacy Day will honor African American athletes and coaches, both male and female, who excelled in team sports in Kent County and elsewhere on the Eastern Shore from the 1940s to the end of the 20th century. Competitive sports have long played an important role in African American life. Team sports in particular always were more than just a game. They provided an opportunity to compete and excel on a relatively level playing field. Sporting events also provided an opportunity to strengthen community ties and take pride in the accomplishments of great players and coaches. For some, athletic skill provided a ticket out of the poverty and limited opportunities they faced on the Eastern Shore. Athletic competition helped to develop the qualities of sportsmanship and leadership and hard work and discipline that paid dividends in their lives after baseball and sports. One highlight of our upcoming exhibit will be the community baseball teams that played in small towns throughout Kent County and Queen Anne's County from the 1940s till the end of the 1960s. I've had the good fortune to talk to Mr. Ralph Deaton, who played on one of those teams, the Churchill Red Sox, later called the Churchill Hawks, when he was a teenager. Later, much later in his life, Ralph Deaton also compiled rosters of the dozen or so community teams who will be featured in our exhibit.
Black baseball. And it started in 1946 after the men came back from World War II. And one of the first things they did in Churchill was to build a baseball diamond. And these guys built the baseball diamond, and they played baseball from 1946 and probably until the early 50s. And then our group took over. But the original team was the Churchill Red Sox. And a lot of those guys came out of the service, went to work for E.S. Valiant. E.S. Valiant had two fertilizer factories, one down in Laura, Delaware, and the other in Centerville, Maryland. And this is how they got their first baseball suits and became the Churchill Red Sox. They had guys that came from Centerville that wanted to play baseball. I have a picture of that team. And then some of these guys played until the early 50s. Then they moved away. Some went to cities like Philadelphia, some went to DC and moved up in the types of jobs they had. And then in the early 50s, when I was a teenager, we came along and started playing. But the older teams played against teams from here in Kent County, played against Chestertown All-Stars, played against a team in Georgetown, Coleman's Corner, they played Big Woods.
That environment also helped to produce several college baseball stars, including Ralph Deaton, and three who played professional baseball, including Ryan Thompson, who played for the New York Mets and the New York Yankees, Ira Dude Smith, who played in the Dodgers and the Padres organizations, and Jason Hackett, who played for the Baltimore Orioles organization. Another highlight of next year's exhibit will be sports played at Garnett and Kent County High School, including baseball, basketball, football, lacrosse, wrestling, track, softball, and field hockey. One of those stars was Marone Brown, who played both football and lacrosse at Kent County High School from 1987 through 1991.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marone Brown. I affectionately go by the name Ron for short. I'm a 1991 graduate of Kent County High School, proud graduate, Kent County High School Trojans. One could say, that I had the ideal high school experience. I attended there 4 years. I participated in 3 state championships, 1 for lacrosse, 2 for football. Also played basketball as kind of a stopgap. Again, loved going to Kent County. Prom King, 1991, when I graduated. Everything about my high school experience was amazing. Great coaches, great instructors, great teachers. I couldn't really have asked for anything more. Just an all-around great experience. Sports had a huge impact on my life. They taught me discipline. They taught me resilience. They taught me, even though you're not the best player, you can be the hardest worker. And it's transcended in my professional life and my personal life. and it's, I'm very competitive to this day, with lots of things. Again, it's, for me, sports played a huge part in just being disciplined in the fact that, when I went to college and things like that, it was tough, but I never gave up. In fact, after high school, I ended up going to first junior college, actually. William Coleman, Billy Coleman, who I mentioned, we ended up playing lacrosse there for a little bit. Then I went on to Towson, played football for a year. But anyway, I ended up finishing my undergrad at University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. Went to Towson, just wasn't ready to be independent of sorts, just wasn't. I was kind of still in that playful mode, wanted to party. It was the first time in my life I was kind of independent and autonomous, and I just wasn't ready for it. Maturity hadn't set in quite yet. So, but once I got myself back together, I ended up returning to Chesapeake College, finishing there, going to University of Maryland Eastern Shore, finishing a bachelor's and master's degree in criminal justice. Subsequently, I worked in juvenile justice for a long time, the Department of Juvenile Justice for approximately 8 years, 9 years, and decided I needed a career change. So ended up going to Johns Hopkins, getting a master's degree in clinical psych, and then subsequently I went on to Drexel to get a doctoral degree in educational psychology. And subsequent to that, I went to Millersville University and obtained a advanced graduate certificate of advanced graduate study in school psychology. Currently, I work for the Department of Education as a school safety specialist for the state of Maryland. And I also I opened my own practice. It's called Hidden Depths. It's an individual counseling practice. I see various people, adolescents, adult males, you name it, provide individual counseling to them. It's located in Baltimore. And the rest is history.